Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Alexander Hilly123 here, and it's time for a new video. And as you can see from the title, as you can see from the very screen in front of you, today it is for the third and final time Football Manager running on Windows 10. And today we're looking at Football Manager 2007. 2 weeks ago I showcased 2005, last week 2006, and this is the last in the classic trilogy. And this is the first time in 6 years that I've been able to play the classic Football Manager games. If you don't know, in 2015, Windows stopped providing the updates for something called SecuROM, I think it was, or SecDRV. SecDRV is a process on Windows. SecuROM was a piece of software that Sports Interactive and many other publishers and developers use on their games in the early mid-2000s to stop people copyrighting the games, pirating the games, I should say. And it was rife with Football Manager because obviously it's just a spreadsheet, it's just a database essentially, no graphics, pretty small file size compared to other games around at the time, the early mid-2000s. But you know, this was a 3D games as well. Other 3D games had this technology on the game, so they couldn't be pirated on the actual disc itself. And then of course Steam came along, and no one really uses physical copies anymore, especially for PC games, so nobody isn't a thing. But there are tons of other games which can't be played on Windows 10 anymore, and yeah, it just really sucks ass, unfortunately. And Microsoft are not interested in fixing this issue, seemingly, but now there is a fix. And if you want to know how I'm running all these old Football Manager games for the third and final time, I'm getting bloody sick of saying this, just watch my Football Manager 2005 video, and in that video I detail how it is that you can now play the old Football Manager games on Windows 10. I don't want to speak about it in this video, because what we mainly do here is look through the Italian, Spanish, German, French and English leagues, just have a little look at what happened and just get that aroma of nostalgia. And I'm on the Atletico Madrid page for some reason by default here, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's start in Spain. We're in June, as you can see, because the French Cup was really late. It was played in late June, and I usually holiday until late May, so that took me by surprise. But Gymnastique, Racing and Levante got relegated. Real Madrid winning the title. Sevilla, Valencia, Espanyol second, third and fourth respectively. Barcelona finishing in a lowly fifth, and really when you look at the squad, there are no excuses. Maybe not winning the title, but they should have finished second or third here. And as we can see, Lilian Thuram played for Barcelona. There's things when you look back at these old Football Managers that you might have forgotten. I've forgotten that he played for them. I also forgotten that Heidegger Johnson played for Barcelona. Samuel Eto'o at 26. Deco, Iniesta, Xavi. The midfield is utterly farcical. Ronaldinho, only 27, but arguably this was the last world-class year of his career. Unbelievable, he peaked so early. There's a young Lionel Messi already scoring 18 goals in all competitions at 19, that's unbelievable. But it's Real Madrid in a kind of evolutionary stage, post-Galacticos, starting to bring in players that aren't necessarily Galacticos now. And they've got Juan Mata. You forget that this guy started at Real Madrid and then went to Valencia. Goodness gracious. Ruud van Nistelrooy from Manchester United blasting in goals. Beckham's going to LA Galaxy, ladies and gentlemen. Even Antonio Cassano ended up at Real Madrid, the troubled man that he was. I don't know why I'm using the past tense, he is still alive, but yeah, a very troubled man. He nearly wasn't alive. I could see a heart attack a year or two ago, unbelievable. But he's in his prime here, fantastic goalkeeper. Just have a quick look at the squads. I'd love to look at every single player individually, ladies and gentlemen. So many names that I'm sure you'll remember. The nostalgia is incredible, and something I'm noticing about this game, this version of the game, every squad has absolutely shitloads of injuries. What the hell is going on? And there's Zaragoza, where is he? The main guy in the centre midfield. Don't tell me they've sold him already. Bet they have. Zapata, yeah, he's gone to Chelsea. You can still get some unbelievable deals on this game. Chelsea don't need strengthening. Even more so, they're already strong enough as it is on this game. Zapata, he was a great player on this game. Let's have a look at the Spanish Cup, ladies and gentlemen. Who won it? It was Barcelona, like I said, late June. What's all that about? Why is it in late June? 3-0 against Getafe, so at least they won the Spanish Cup. It's good for them. Let's check out Italy. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at all the deductions of points. Now, this is the year that Juventus weren't in Serie A, and I don't have Serie B on, but I'm guessing that they'll be promoted. But as you can see, Siena, Empoli, Regina got relegated. Regina They got deducted 11 points and it ended up relegating them. But I can't remember what this is all about. Is this the fallout from the Juventus thing? Like, were Milan and Lazio guilty too? And if so, why did they not get relegated? I really need to research what that was all about. Of course, remember about Juventus, but I don't remember about these teams. Unbelievable. There's also quite a lot of teams here, like Ascoli, Catania, Messina, that I'm sure aren't in the top division anymore. Chievo used to be decent. Got Palermo in 6th there. They used to be very good for a few years. Parma in 4th. It's good for them. Milan, Roma, and Inter Milan won the league in Juventus's absence. Zlatan Ibrahimovic with those utterly farcical stats. A bit more realistic now, though. He's a lazy bastard. 6 for work rate, 5 for positioning. Doesn't give a fuck. Give him the ball. Put hard workers around him, and you probably will see some success. Patrick Vieira, after the move from Juventus, just 1 year. Now the Juventus are, and you can see the squad. It's small, but there's still some fantastic talent in there. It's ageing, but it is the Italian league, so you don't need pace as much. But Inter Milan have got themselves some pace. They've got a young Florian Malouda in there. Let's have a look at Roma. Mirko Vucinic, he was a good player, and he was a good player in this game. Ronaldo at AC Milan. Did you remember that, ladies and gentlemen? And the very young Luka Modric, they purchased him in-game. He never went there in real life, of course. But look at that midfield. Pirlo, Gattuso, Seedorf, Kaká. That's absolutely farcical. Zlatan Muslimovic. I always laugh at this guy's name because I can't help but think of Ibrahimovic. There we have it. Jacques Fati. Bloody hell. You could look for hours, couldn't you? You really could. And remember some of these names from back in the day. Let's have a look at the Italian Cup. We know now that it's over 2 legs, and who won it? It was Roma, 3-2 on aggregate against Palermo. Very interesting indeed. Mari, remember this guy? Very young Nigel de Jong in the team as well. But that's what happened in Italian football. A lot of goings on, and in the German Bundesliga, a lot of goings on as well. Oh, in fact, it's got to the 07-08 season. But in the 06-07 season, Leverkusen won the league. Cottbus, Aachen, I'm guessing that's pronounced, Bochum, relegated. Wolfsburg, Stuttgart not having great seasons. Dortmund in 8th. Hamburg in 6th with a young Vincent Kompany, if I am correct. But he's already being headhunted by some teams that arguably aren't bigger than Hamburg. I think he should wait till a bigger club comes in for him. Give it a couple more years yet, I would. Vincent. And there's Leverkusen, and I've got to say, they did damn well to win that title. They really did. I can't even think of who's going to score the goals there. Probably Stefan Kiesling. He was quite a good striker. Yeah, well done. Oh my god, why the fuck are they called Gelsenkirchen and not Schalke? I mean, obviously there's no the proper names of the teams, but they're not sponsored with the logos. But these guys are just called Gelsenkirchen. They're the Schalke. That's interesting. Kevin Karani, who wants to move to a bigger club, maybe Bayern Munich will be taking him up on that offer. And let's have a look at Bayern Munich. Disappointing season for them. Owen Hargreaves, Milan and Barca, of course in real life. He went to Manchester United that same summer. Young Lucas Podolski after his move from Cologne. Lucio's still there in that defence, one of my favourite all-time players. And they've got a very young Akinfeev. That's the goalkeeping situation sorted for the next decade at least. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. What about the German Cup? Oh, Bayern were knocked out pretty damn early. And the winners are Schalke over Hamburg. Two great teams, of course, with a fine history. Always in the top division, although Schalke are getting relegated, I think, currently. And Pablo Sorin, I remember that bloke. Wonderful locks of hair that he had. And Schalke won the league. Elgero Elia, if you didn't pronounce that. He's always been 21 in my eyes, this guy. He's never aged. He's still 21 IRL. He's actually 33 now, but he'll always be 21, waiting to become a world-class player in my eyes. That's very interesting indeed. Love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at the French division. The Uber Eats League, as it's called these days. Auxerre were relegated. Lorient and Valenciennes. That's the best you're getting from me. Paris Saint-Germain won the title. Lyon, they didn't win it in FMO5. They didn't win it in FMO6. They didn't win it in FMO7. And yet, Lyon were the best team in France when these games were made. Very interesting. Monaco in 3rd, Bordeaux 5th, Lille in 10th. They're a team that always go from mid-table to Champions League football. Oh, Gene McCoon, the second Gene 2 McCoon. Atletico, I wouldn't sell him to Paris. Peter Odemwingie, a lot of football in England in his later days, ladies and gentlemen. So look at this Paris team before the money came in. Pauletta. Now, in the same way that Elia was always 21, this guy was always in his early 30s. I don't think he played football in his 20s. He had a really interesting career, blasted in goals wherever he went, to be fair to him. Even for Portugal. Legendary player, not quite, maybe world class, who knows, I'm not sure. Bonaventura Kalou, is it Salomon Kalou's brother? Yeah, it is. Incredible. Salomon Kalou was an underrated player, a good squad player in my opinion at Chelsea. You need players like that to win titles. Frederick Piquillon, did he play for Portsmouth? I think he might have. Jan Koller? What? Christ almighty, I didn't think he was still going. In 2007, a young Yaya Toure, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty damn good as well. His physicals are nowhere near as good as they should be, but he came into his prime in his mid-20s, really, didn't he? But interesting goings on. In France, there's Marseille, with a young... Well, he's not that young, is he, no? Djibril Cissé, he's on loan from Liverpool. The pace is still there, but unfortunately, that broken leg, or the broken legs, because he suffered 2, have done him in by now, and he's unfortunately not the same player. But what about this guy? Probably a wonder kid on the game. Very technical player. Samir Nasri. Let's have a look at the French Cup. French Cup 10th, 11th round. What the hell? Bordeaux beat Marseille 2-0. Marouane Chamakh and Jean-Claude Cheville. I love that name. Did he play for Rangers? Did he play for Rangers after this season? Remember his name, Alembe. Remember that one as well. And now we'll go to England, ladies and gentlemen, where we spend a little bit of time, because I remember what happened in the English leagues. Oh my god, I've just seen something I didn't think I'd see. Sheffield United, Watford relegated. I'm pretty damn certain they were relegated in real life, but the other team that were relegated were Charlton. They had a great season, they finished 8th. Tottenham Hotspur have been relegated, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. Bolton and Wigan struggling but staying up. Manchester City, I think, let's have a butchers here. No, the loan is still there. It's 2007. So if you play Football Manager 2008, they'll be taken over by, what was his name, Shinawatra, was it, or something like that? And then the year after that is when the oil money came in, 2008, and they just decimated English football. But yeah, Manchester United, like they did in real life, have won the title here. Chelsea 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, Arsenal 4th. You know, that's the way I think it went down IRL. Football Manager 2005 and 6, Chelsea won the league as they did in real life. But there's one important name in this squad, ladies and gentlemen, that has won Manchester United the title, and it's this man at 29 years of age. And I checked through before starting this, and he actually broke his leg, out for 5 months, right at the start of his career with the club. Now he's already 29. That broken leg, his physicals are absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure Klose was that fast, although maybe I'm wrong. Fantastic player, but arguably they've only got 2 or 3 more years with him, and they're going to have to sell. But for now, he's fired the goals to lead them to the title. Just 7 and 14, but it helped them out. But they tend to sign him, Man United, on this game. And on the original patch, it's Luca Toni. 2 fantastic finishers in the late 20s. Luca Toni kind of came from nowhere, if you didn't know about Italian football back then. There's no one Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, like I always say, no one could foresee how good he was going to come. An average of 670 isn't that good. But yeah, it's a pretty small squad, but it's got the balance of wonder kids and the old heads like Giggs, Scholes, Neville, Vidic and Ferdinand at the back. It was Ferguson's last great Manchester United team was just beginning, and Shevchenko, how good is he on this game? He did okay, of course. It was a disastrous move, and Chelsea should never have been signing him. It was just totally the wrong time in his career to come to the English Premier League. Didier Drogba, his finishing's improved because in the 05-06 season he did a bit better than he did in the 04-05, but it was the 06-07 season where Drogba started banging in the goals. And this, oh my lord, they bought Frank Ribery and Zapata. I think next season I would say Chelsea could win the title. Here's the Liverpool team with Peter Crouch and Bellamy, the big man and the little man up front. Dirk Kuyt. Was this the actual real season? Yeah, it was Dirk Kuyt's first season, and he had a pretty damn good season. Harry Kewell, and this might have been his last at Liverpool. But the midfield, Alonso, Gerrard, Sissoko, Mascherano on loan from Corinthians. Can't remember what the situation was with that, because he went to West Ham first. He's kind of cut out that happening. Not sure what's going on there, because obviously Mascherano played for West Ham for a little bit, didn't he? Fabio Aurelio, Arisa, Herpia, Carragher. The defence needs shoring up, but midfield's great. Third place. They'll be looking to improve on that next season. And there's the Arsenal team with a pretty overrated Julio Baptista. He never made it in the English league. Yet again, like I said in the FMO6 video, the defence isn't as good. Henry, obviously, this was his last season at the club, and Arsenal are in need of a little rebuild. But on this game, you can really do it. Well, you can, but there's the loan debt. That's the loan debt that has essentially destroyed Arsenal in the last 13, 14 years. And that's Stan Kroenke, who's now the owner. He's not really interested in having Arsenal as a top team. It's similar with Manchester United with the Glazers, and why it's so important that these protests continue for all these different clubs. Of course, the 50+1 rule is a thing in Germany. Some people say it wouldn't work, but I think it's a decent idea as a start. But there's way too many Johnny bloody foreigners running these clubs. Anyway, let's not get involved in that. How on earth have Tottenham been relegated? Then again, this squad is absolutely tiny, but look at the firepower. Have they sold any players? A few. Pascal Chimbonda immediately went to Tottenham after his season at Wigan. That is interesting. Now he's been sold to Aston Villa. Interesting goings on there in the English Premier League, ladies and gentlemen. Just have a little butchers at one or two other teams before we move on. Middlesbrough 6. They used to be a really difficult team to play against. Not been in the Premier League for quite a while now. I think they've been in twice in the last 10 years, but they can't sustain it. We have a look at the League Cup in England, and it was won by Tottenham. They got relegated but won the League Cup against Arsenal. That's what you call bittersweet, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure they would have preferred to have stayed up. They'll come straight back up, I do believe. I've never known Tottenham get relegated myself. Only like 30, 40 years in the future, something daft like that. And Arsenal have won the FA Cup 3-0 against Blackburn Rovers. Benny McCarthy with an early sending off, and it was game over from there, really. Young Robin van Persie. Absolutely outrageous stats. Frederick Ljungberg was still playing for Arsenal in 2007. That's something that really shocks me. I thought he'd already called it quits by then. But ladies and gentlemen, just before we call it quits with this video, what happened with the Champions League? Wait a minute. Why aren't Arsenal in the Champions League? Am I missing something here? They didn't even go into the qualification round. Oh, I'm looking at Middlesbrough. Oh my god. This is what happens when you function with about 3 hours of sleep. That is indeed what happens when you function on about 3 hours of sleep. Okay. And it was won by AC Milan. They beat Liverpool. They got a revenge on Liverpool that season. I think it was Filippo Inzaghi with a typical Filippo Inzaghi goal. He scored here as well. The man born in the offside position. Some really low stats, to be fair, but the finishing is good. And he was a fantastic finisher. Kaká. Christ almighty, this guy was great for a few seasons. And Luka Modric. They hammered Shakhtar. And this is around about the time when Shakhtar started to buy just loads of Brazilians, and they're still doing it now. They just buy Brazilians from the Brazilian league for between about 3 and 10 mil, and then sell them off at a higher price. Kind of what Dortmund do, but not just with Brazilians. I love that model as a football club. Shakhtar and Dortmund are two clubs that I do respect because of that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, very interesting goings on. Football Manager 2007 for me. This is a really interesting point in the Football Manager series, because this is the first series where the regens are not made up, well, they are made up players, they're not professional footballers who retire and then get brought back into the game with a different name. So this gives the game a new longevity. It's very, very fast. It's arguably faster than 05 and 06, and the skin, as everybody knows, is absolutely amazing. This game still, in my opinion, has the perfect balance between depth and simplicity and playability. I would say, however, I'm not the kind of guy to just say it's too hard, but out of all three of these Football Manager games that I've spoke about, 5, 6 and 7, this is the hardest. I don't know what it is about this game, but I think it's balls hard compared to the other games. But ladies and gentlemen, in the future I might do a one-off video on FM08, but it's going to be probably in at least over a year's time. I just wanted to do these 3 back-to-back videos talking about the classic FM games, and now we can now play them on Windows 10. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.